In this video, we're going to go over the CSS Attribute Selector, yet another way in which you can target elements on your web page. Now, the use of the Attribute Selector is very rare, but I can tell you that there are still people that use the Attribute Selector to target elements on their web page. And sometimes using the Attribute Selector to target elements on your web page can be very helpful. So we are going to be covering that in this video. Now, as you can see here on our index.html, we have an unordered list, and inside this unordered list, we have a list item. So inside this list item, we have the anchor tag. Now, the attribute selector of this anchor tag is the href. As you can see here, this is the attribute selector. Now, underneath this unordered list, we have two images here. Now, the attribute selector of both of these images here is the source attribute, as you can see here. So we are going to be using this selector to target these elements here. So let's just quickly go to our styles.css. So we are going to start with the href attribute here to target these elements. So we should go to our styles.css now. So we'll call our anchor tag, and after this anchor tag, the sign you use is your square bracket. Your square bracket. Now inside this square bracket, you call your attribute, and in this case is the href. And then we are going to style this now. So we are going to give this anchor tag a background color of blue, and a color of white. So now let's refresh on our web page. Now if we refresh, now you can see we are now having our stylings on this list item. We now have a background color of blue and a color of white. As you can see here, we have targeted this element using the attribute selector here, which is the href. So we have successfully targeted this list item with our attribute selector, and we are not done yet. Remember, we have two images on our web page here, so now it's time to target this source attribute here. So let's go to our styles.css. So for the image, all you do is call your img, and after your img, as usual, you call your square brackets. You put your square bracket. Now inside this square bracket, then you put your attribute selector, which is the src for source. Now we are going to give this a border of 5 pixels, solid red. Now if we refresh, now you can see both of our image are taking the stylings. Okay, so we now have a border of 5 pixels solid red on both images. So this is one way you can actually target your element using the attribute selector. Now let's say, for example, you have lots of images on your web page. Maybe you have like 20 images on your web page, and you want to style one particular image. You want to give one particular image a particular style, and you don't want that style to affect the rest of the image. You can actually do that with the attribute selector, but all you need to do is call the value of that attribute. So if we go to our index.html here, this is for this image, the attribute selector is the source. Now the value of this source is the HTML and CSS.png. So the image name is the value. For the second image here, the value is fashion.jpg. So to target a particular image and style that image, you need to call the value of the attribute. So let's work with this image here, this fashion image. So all we do here, let's go to our styles.css. Now inside of this bracket, you specify your equal sign and then your double quotes, and then all you do is call the name of the image. So we say fashion let's go to our web index.html to see if it's a JPEG or a PNG image. So it's a JPEG image. So we say fashion.jpg. So if we go to our web page now and refresh, now you can see this image underneath here. The fashion image is the only image that is taking the stylings, and you can see the stylings is now gone on our first image. This is because we specified the value of the image. So you can actually style a particular image if you want. All you have to do is just specify the value of the image. So this is one way. This is how you use your attribute selector to target elements on your web page. I hope you find this video useful, so I will see you guys in the next video.